All right, guys, we're going to get started. I'm glad you're all here. Happy Monday. All right. Remember, if you have a question, just holler at me, unmute yourself, wave at me. Nice dinosaur there, Shepherd. Let's begin. Remember to go at your own pace. Put your feet together. Good. And we're just going to right away start breathing. We're going to go right into a soft fold. Inhale and exhale. Bend the knees. Good. Come right back up. Inhale up. And exhale all the way down. Good. Back up. And all the way back down. And up. One more time. Exhale. And inhale up. Exhale over to leaning mountain. You're going to go to one side. Good. I want you to think about like those trees outside right now. Everything's kind of bending over as it's blowing. You do the same thing with your breath. Just with your own breath, side to side. Let the back begin to move. And just wherever you're at, one more each side. Good. Take a breath up. Exhale. Dive to the floor. Hinge and fold. Just go as far as you can for now. Good. Step back with your right foot. Come up to high lunge. Good. And put your right hand on the floor. Revolve your lunge. Good. Hands to the mat. Back to downward dog. Good. And come to your plank. Go back to downward dog. Stretch through those legs. Come back to plank. And again, back. Push the heels down and forward. One more time, back. Good. Come forward and chaturanga to up dog. Good. Bring yourself to tabletop. Good. Wrists right underneath your shoulders. Keep the fingers spread out. And roll up into cat stretch. And down into cow. Good. And just like we did with our leaning mountain, just do this with your own breath. Back and forth, take your time. Good, and bring the knees out by the sides of your mat, toes together. Sit the hips back. Good, and bring yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your feet. Lift to downward dog. Step forward with your left leg. And now you're just going to turn down the right side of your mat. Unhinge. So you're in this wide-legged pose here. We're going to draw some circles here with this. So if you need any help with support, you can put your hands on your hips. Start with your left hand. Take a deep breath up, or you can go to both hands, all right? Dive over your right leg. Come all the way around and up. And then we go the other way. So I'm showing the modification here. I'm switching hands. and then doing my circle. Take your breath with you. Go slower if you need to. Good. One more each side, wherever you're at. Good. Just turn to the top of your mat and step in. Take a breath into standing extension. Straighten your spine. Exhale and fold. Good. Let the crown of your head ease toward the mat. Very nice. Good. Lift your gaze. You can put your hands on your knees here if you'd like to. Good. And unhinge. Roll your shoulders. Good. Take a breath up. Bring the hands into prayer. Good. Now we're going to do that soft fold all over again. Inhale. Bend the knees. Lay the rib cage on your legs. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale all the way up. Stay up here. And now go to leaning mountain. And again, just let the wind take you like the trees outside. We'll bend but not break, right? That's why we do yoga. One more each side. Take a breath at the top and dive to the floor. Exhale, hinge and fold. Step back with your left leg. High lunge. And left hand to the floor, revolve your lunge. Strong leg in the back here. Both hands to the floor, step back to downward dog. Inhale as you come forward to plank. Exhale, push the hips up, drop the heels. Inhale as you come forward into plank. Exhale, lift. And again, inhale forward. Exhale and lift. Inhale forward, chaturanga, up dog. Good, come to your tabletop. Good, now instead of cat and cow, we're gonna do something called wag the dog. So if you can imagine, your shoulders aren't gonna move. You're gonna pull your left hip up to your left rib cage. So you're kind of, if I were standing up, it looks like I'm bending sideways, but here I'm moving my shoulders. Here, I'm actually moving my hips. So point your tailbone to the left corner of the back of your mat, and then just switch. Really try to exaggerate that movement. Now, if you can keep your shoulders still, you can also look back and just switch sides as you look back. Keep your breath moving. Good, one more each side. And knees apart toward the edges of your mat, toes together, sit back, child's pose. Good, and we'll go back to downward dog. Step forward with your right and turn down the left side of your mat. Come on up. You're in a wide-legged mountain. Take a deep breath up. And now we'll go towards your left leg. Circle around. Think about making a long spine here. And of course, if you need this modification, use this good. One more wherever you're at. Good. Take a big breath when you get back to the top. Inhale as you step in. And find a deep fold. Find your breath. Good. Bend your knees and lift your gaze. Good job. Take a breath up and bring your hands into prayer. Good. All right. Take a breath. Step halfway back with your right foot. And now split your fold. Good. Stay right where you're at with your feet, but unhinge. Set your hands on the back of your hips. Press your hips forward. Peel your body open. Look at the ceiling. Good. Think less about bending backward with this and more about pressing the hips forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. And come back up. Good. Now all I'm going to do is catch my balance into my left leg. And I'm just going to go down like I'm about to start a running race. I'm just going to touch the floor. I've lifted my heel behind me. And I'm just going to lift to warrior 3 with airplane arms. And come back down. Exhale up. And come back down. Keep going. Exhale up. And come back down. Yeah, really bend that standing leg. Exhale up. Good, and come back down. One more exhale up. And come back down. Now, take a breath here. You can come back into your split leg fold. Or you can lift that right leg into a standing split. Step back with your right leg and come up to your high lunge. Good. Now, we're going to counter revolve our lunge. So leave your back heel pointed up toward the ceiling. Put your left arm on your left leg and turn to your right. Now, normally this would be angle pose, right? And we would put our leg down. Leave your leg up and reach. Press your hips forward. Big, strong leg in the back. Now inhale as you put your right hand down, and we'll just revolve. Good. Now you should have your left knee here in the front. I'm just going to get my balance on my right arm, and I'm going to step back with my left leg to a side plank. You can drop your knee here if you need to do that. Good. Big breath. Come to plank. Now exhale, downward dog. Come forward into plank. And chaturanga up dog. Good. Sit back. Not quite child's pose. Take your knees out toward the sides and put your feet together. Now, come forward with your hips, but leave your feet together. Now, inhale as you move through that and sit back. Do that again. Inhale forward and exhale down. Yes. Back. 20 points if you can touch your feet to your ponytail. And back. One more time. Very nice. Good. Bring yourself to tabletop. Thread the needle here. But first, take a breath. Lift your left arm. Then exhale all the way down and through. Use your arms here to turn the spine. Take your breath all the way down your back to your glutes. Good, come out of that. And we'll take the right side up here. Exhale through. Mindful breathing here. Purposeful breathing all the way down through your core. And come back up. Tuck your feet. Go to downward dog. Good. Step forward with your left leg. Now, halfway in with your right. Good. Get your balance. Unhinge. It's kind of like we're back at the beginning, but we're not. Bring your hands into prayer. Take your right leg across and sit into single leg chair. Good. Now we're going to do a little movement with this. All you're going to do is release your leg, tap the floor, straighten your left leg. Now go right back down. So we're going to sit and tap. Sit and tap. Hold on to something if you need to. Challenge your balance. Find something to focus on. Go as slow or as fast as you need to. Keep your breath moving. So we got stretching and strengthening and balance all happening at the same time. Wherever you're at, give me 4 more. You should be feeling that left leg. Woo. Good, and go ahead and stop in mountain. Let's stretch this left hip. Yeah, the one that we just worked. Inhale, dive over, hinge and fold. Relax your right knee. So my knees are kind of kicked apart. And I'm going to turn toward my left, releasing that left hip. Good, come back center. Inhale into standing extension. Exhale, dive over your legs and fold. Bend your knees, lift your gaze. Roll your shoulders at the top, take a big breath. Exhale into prayer. Good, inhale up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Take your left leg halfway back. Splitting your fold. And now unhinge to standing. Hands go to the hips. Press your body open. Again, it's not about leaning back. Press your hips forward. Make your collarbones go apart. And now inhale as you dive over. Exhale and split your fold. You can stay here or take it all the way up to your standing split. Don't have to do what you did on the other side. Good, set that down and unhinge again. So now you're gonna balance on your right leg. I've come up onto the toe of my back leg. Keep my head up. I'm just gonna drop down like I'm gonna start a race. Exhale, lift to warrior three. Come back down. And exhale. And down. And exhale. And down. Go slower if you need to. Push through that standing leg. Of course, you don't have to pick that leg up, right? You could do this without lifting it. Wherever you're at, give me 4 more. Good, and then just split your fold. Step back with your left leg to your high lunge. Good, you're gonna leave your left heel up. Take your right arm, turn to your left. Drop into your hips, long spine here. Counter revolve. Good, now inhale and put your left hand on the floor. Exhale, revolve your lunge. Hands to the floor, step back to downward dog. And come forward into plank. Take your breath with you. Chaturanga to up dog. Push those shoulders out of your ears. And sit back. Take your knees out toward your edges of your mat, but not quite child's pose yet. Come forward, drop the hips. Keep your feet together. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Breathe, take it back. And again, forward and back. And forward and back. Good. Last time, sit back, child's pose. Good, find your tabletop. Now let's thread the needle again. This time, bring your right arm up. Exhale, go all the way through. And reset to tabletop. Left arm goes up, inhale. Exhale, come all the way through. And reset to tabletop. Go back to downward dog. All right, take your right leg in. Step halfway in with your left leg. Get your balance and unhinge. Take a breath. Left leg up, single leg chair. Hold this for just a moment. Good, and try not to rush it. Lift it and tap. Exhale and sit. Lift and tap. Exhale and sit. You can always do this by just touching the toe down and just squatting into that right leg. The only difference is you're not going to get the stretch in the hip. Keep your core tight, keep the breath moving. Just wherever you're at from here, give me 4 more. And set to mountain pose. Big breath up. Exhale, dive to the floor. Relax your left leg. And now turn to that right hip. Take a deep breath in standing extension. And exhale, hinge and fold. Bend your knees, lift your gaze. And we're back in mountain pose. Well done. Good, take a breath up. Bring your hands to prayer. Lift your heart into your thumbs. Good, now spread your toes out on the floor. And we're gonna come up onto the balls of our feet. Now think about squeezing through your core. Your ankles don't have to touch, but drive your ankles together or towards each other. Don't let your legs fall outward. Good, inhale as you drop your heels. Now exhale, go to chair. Now we're going to combine those 2 moves. So start by trying to come up onto the balls of your feet in chair here. Good. Now the next thing is we go backward with our hands, long spine, and we try to straighten the legs. This is diver's pose. Big breath. I want you to just soft fold. Good. Step back with your right leg. Turn your right foot, and we're going to cartwheel up to warrior 2. Lift into a reverse warrior. Keep your back or your front hamstring, back of that leg going toward the floor. Good. Now, you've got your left arm up. I want you to reach up with your right hand, grab your left arm, bring it behind you. Exhale, sink in a little deeper, stretch the back of that arm. Keep your belly button pulling into your spine. Good, and straighten your legs here. Open your arms, kick your right hip away as you reach out beyond your left foot, and then hinge over to your triangle. Just like in thread the needle, breathe into your back here. Good, now just from here, turn down the right side of your mat. Good. So I'm going to turn around so you get two different angles here. So you're just here. I want you to bend your knees and let your elbows come to the inside of your legs. Now see if you can drop your tailbone lower than your head. Yeah, so almost like you could balance on your legs. Now take a breath, exhale and drop that forward, and then come back down again. Yes, and go back up, and down, and up. It's okay if you can't reach the floor, you can still do it here. Good. We're going to do two more. Good. Walk toward the top of your mat and step back to downward dog. Good. Now, listen. You're going to take your right leg and put it underneath you over at 9 o'clock. So to your left. And then open up. And no, I forgot the side plank on the other side. We'll get there. So this is broken triangle, broken angle. It's called lots of things. Now, if you're feeling giddy and you want to add to it, reach down and grab that right foot with your left hand and see if you can lift it. Now, I'm just going to bend my right leg and put it on the floor right in front of me, and we've gone into our pigeon pose. Good. So I'm reaching my left leg back, trying to press the top of my foot and all 5 toes into the floor. I want to square off my hips and my shoulders. We didn't do pigeon on Friday, so this should feel pretty good. Modify it where you need to. If you have a hip injury or a knee or ankle injury, come down to your hip. That's fine. That's what Courtney's doing today. But she's still reaching back with her left leg. She's still pressing both hips forward, even though they're not square here. That's okay. But if you're going to take it lower into a fold, be sure not to roll toward your shin, but to keep your weight back. Good. Bring yourself up from here to downward dog. And from here, you're going to jump or walk in to the top of your mat. Inhale in a standing extension. And exhale and fold. Bend your knees, lift your gaze. Come all the way up to mountain. Bring the hands into heart center. Lift your sternum into your thumbs. Good. When you're ready, see if you can lift up just under the balls of your feet. Focus on squeezing in with your core, not just your calves. Good. Inhale as the heels drop. Exhale up into chair. Heels are down first. Good. Now see if you can bring that chair up to the balls of your feet. And then diver's pose. So straighten the legs if you can. Remember, guys, it's all a journey. You might get part of the way there. You might not get there at all. That is okay. Big breath here. Just collapse, soft fold. Just step back with your left leg. Turn your foot and come up to your warrior two. Good, breathe. Good, and exhale up into your sun warrior or reverse warrior. Keep that hamstring dropping in the front. Take a big breath. Reach up with your back hand. That's your left one. Grab your right hand. Give yourself a little pat on the back there. Sink into this pose here. And straighten. Open the arms. Reach out over that right leg and take yourself over to your triangle. Again, breathe into your back. No tension in your neck. Good, and hands to the floor. And you're just gonna go down the left side of your mat. Hands to the mat or forearms just above the knees. You're gonna sink your hips, lift your gaze. Press your shoulders down. Hands to the floor if you can. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Yes. And sink. Exhale. So think about your legs getting longer here, your spine getting longer here. And just two more. And walk to the top of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Now you're going to take your left leg over to 3 o'clock. So it's going under you and open yourself up into that broken triangle, ball and angle pose. And since I missed the side plank on the other side, we'll just hold this a little longer. Breathe. If you're feeling giddy and you want to reach down with the right hand and grab that foot, you can. Good. You're going to bend your leg, your left leg, and just bring it under you. And we find ourselves in our pigeon. Now this side might be different than the other side. Maybe the other side was great, but this side you need to modify. That is okay. Honor where you're at. Big breath. Allow the release in the hip and the back first. And then on an exhale, if you're going to fold, that's when you fold. Good, and bring your hands to the floor and step back to downward dog. And then your choice, walk or step into downward or to a fold. Inhale, standing extension. Exhale, drop those ribs farther down your legs. Just take a moment to notice here. Hopefully you are folding farther than when we first started class. Good, bend your knees and lift. Excellent job. Good, take a breath. Hands come to heart center. Good, inhale up. Exhale, bring your hands all the way behind you, clasp them. Now step back with your right foot and set the heel down. Get your balance, walk your stance out a little bit wider and straighten your leg. Take a breath, push your heels back as you reach your heart forward. Exhale over that left leg, add the arms up. If that doesn't feel good, you put your arms down. If you need to put your hands on your shin, you can do that as well. Here, just stay off of your knee. Good, unhinge this. Good, now we're gonna do a revolve triangle. We haven't done that yet here. So you want your legs to stay straight. So if I'm more flexible, I'm gonna put my right hand next to my left leg, but I can keep my legs straight doing that. If you can't keep your legs straight, then take it more toward the center and do it there. You can also, use a block or something like that, but really your hand needs to be on the floor. Find a long spine here and exhale up to your left. Good, bring your hands down. You can soften your knees there. And all we are gonna do is inhale in and step in. And we're gonna go back with the other leg. Turn your foot, unhinge, bring your hands behind you. Open up. Exhale over the front leg. Again, add the arms, don't add the arms. Just stay off of the knee, it's up to you. Push through both feet for that balance. And unhinge. Take your left arm forward. Reach again. So maybe you can't reach right next to your right foot. Come out to the center more to revolve. That is better than bending your legs. Revolve your triangle. Good, and inhale as you step in. Exhale and fold. And we're gonna walk back to downward dog. And come forward into your plank. Chaturanga to up dog. Good, lower this all the way down. Pull your belly button off the floor. Good, on your exhale, reach out with your hands and lift your legs into a bow. Good, now relax your arms and legs. Reach back with your right arm and grab your right foot. Push your hips down, try to lift your knee off the ground. Good, now I'm gonna keep my leg. I'm just gonna roll to my left side, point my knee to the bottom of the mat. So sideline. Good, now from here, I'm gonna release my foot and reach to the ceiling with it and change my grip to a big toe hold. This is sideline big toe hold. I'm trying to make an arc and set my toes right down in front of the top of my head. Make sure that you're not rolling onto your back. Stay on your side. Good, release that. Come back around to your belly. Just take a breath here for a moment. And then exhale, reach back with your left leg or your left arm and grab your left leg. Again, push the hip down, open the shoulder. And then we roll to our right side. Point your knee down to the top, the bottom of your mat. Stay on your side. Don't let yourself roll to your back. And now open that knee, shift your grip to a big toe hold, and up into sideline big toe hold. Now, of course, if you can't reach your toes, you can always just grab your calf. Good, and release that, roll back to your belly, hands to the floor. Lift up here into a cobra. Roll your shoulders. Good, sit back, big breath here. Give yourself permission here to relax, child's pose. Good, now come forward with that, you're in tabletop. Now instead of sitting your hips back, walk your hands forward and then drop your heart to the floor. Press your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Good, and walk that back up. Bring yourself around as seated. That last pose we did is Playful Puppy. It's my favorite yoga name. Walk your hips toward the back of your mat, heels going toward the front of your mat, hands coming to prayer. Inhale your heart and exhale. Fold over those legs. Good, sit up. Let your feet come together. Good, lift your heart here. Press your knees downward. And then keep both sit bones, keep your hip bones on the floor, but just add a nice rock here. Feel your rib cage dropping toward the hip on either side as you rock. Very gently here. Good, and gather the knees in, roll yourself all the way back. Good. Take a breath, put your feet on the floor. Exhale up into a bridge. Inhale down. Exhale, draw your knees to your heart. And now take your knees right over your hips and drop them to the left. When you get to the floor, take a deep breath. Exhale and look to your right. Let that come in. Good, put your feet back down, take a breath. Exhale up, bridge again. Release that down, draw your knees in with an exhale. And then let your knees come over your hips, drop to your right. When you get to the floor, take a deep breath. Exhale, look to your left. Let your feet come together. Drop your feet. Take your feet a little bit wider than your mat. And just think like windshield wipers. Just let them drop from side to side. Just a release in the top of the hip there, the hip flexor. Take your time. When you're ready, you can bring your knees together if you'd like to rest there. Or walk those legs all the way out into your rest pose. Once you get to where you want to be, I want you to take a long breath in and let it out like a sigh. Just begin to quiet your thoughts. Take a moment to squeeze your hands, make fists. Inhale as you squeeze your feet as well. And now just sigh and let that go. Now I'd like for you to squeeze your thighs and your calves on an inhale. Hold it for just a breath or two. Exhale, let that go. And now with your glutes and your lower back, inhale and squeeze. Exhale and let it go. And now find your upper back, squeeze your upper back, press it into the floor, inhale, exhale, let it go. And now if you'd like to make fists again, you can, but press your arms, squeeze your arms, push them into the floor. Inhale, hold it for a moment. Exhale, release. Good, now clench your jaws, squinch up your face, press the back of your head into the floor. Inhale, squeeze it all in. And exhale, release. When you're ready, begin to feel your body in contact with the floor. Roll yourself to your side. When you're ready, join me seated. As always, you're always invited to just stay reclining if you'd wish. Good. Go ahead and just roll your shoulders today. Good. And then let your shoulders drop and look to your right and left. And then keep your head centered and let your ear drop to shoulder and switch. Good. Bring your hands up here. Inhale. Exhale all the way to the center. Now inhale up. And this time we're just going to exhale, reach forward. Inhale up. And exhale to prayer. And God bless you guys. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, I will be around for a minute or two after. You guys are awesome. Hey guys, go to the Facebook page. Let me know what you'd like to work on Wednesday. Or you can text me, whatever. I will see you soon. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Miss Kelly. Hey, Courtney.
Hey.
Thanks, Kelly.